I hate the founder of Avalanche. I think he's a super douche and will succeed by any means necessary. You can think of him as the inverse of SBF in some ways and mirror images of him in others. Think of him kind of like a more business-like Sam. If Sam were born somewhere else, dressed up in a suit and tie, got a haircut, this would be the AVAX CEO. But the similarities: someone who will run over all of his competitors in the name of rising to the top, someone who will order hit pieces on his competition, someone who panders constantly to the VCs, someone who hires lawyers to do his dirty work. We may just have found our next SBF, except for not. Find out what I mean as we jump into Avalanche, and if you watch until the very end of this video, you'll see how everything I just told you actually helps the project. What? Let's get it. Welcome to Ben Armstrong Crypto X. Don't just trade crypto, experience it. If you're new, subscribe to the channel to start your crypto journey the right way by joining Ben Nation. If you enjoy these explainer videos that give you a deep dive into top coins and their ecosystems, hit the like button so I know you want me to keep doing them. If you want to check out any of my other crypto explainer videos, make sure to click the link on the screen. Today, we're checking out what I believe will be one of the top projects of this bull run, Avalanche. Goes by the ticker AVAX and is one of the newest projects in the top 10, coming in at number 10 with a market cap of over $13 billion. At the height of the last bull run, Avalanche was in every conversation about the top layer 1 blockchains. It was next in line right behind Solana. When Solana's price started to explode, everyone who missed out was looking at AVAX as the next big thing. This FOMO sent the price from around $10 in July of 2021 to over $40 the next month in August. Then in November, topped out at over $125. That's more than a 10x in just a few months. That spark burned out fast though. By June of 2022, it had dropped all the way back down to under $20. The whole market was crashing at the time, as you probably remember, so this wasn't necessarily a problem with Avalanche specifically, but it was a major fall from grace. AVAX spent the bear market trending between $10 and $20 and fell even lower than $9 in October of 2023 before rallying back to the $40 range, which is where it stands now at the beginning of 2024. Now the chart looks really good, like it's gonna pop. You can see how it's starting to trend back up toward the previous all-time high levels, and I think it can get there pretty quickly. AVAX could easily have a similar run to the one we saw in 2021, where it went from under $10 to over $200 in a matter of months. Avalanche has pretty good tokenomics as well for a newer project, with only 10% of the supply allotted for the team. There's a total supply of 720 million AVAX and a circulating supply of 365.46 million. 360 million AVAX were minted at the genesis, so the inflation rate here is very minimal. Tokenomics may have something to do with why the price was able to run so fast in 2021. It was also at the peak time for hype and FOMO in the market, and that's probably the main reason, but there are a lot of projects that are never able to capitalize on that hype because the tokenomics are so bad and there's an overinflated supply that causes constant sell pressure. That doesn't seem to be the case with Avalanche. The Avalanche team has a deep history in the industry. The project's founder and CEO, Eamon Gunsier, has been working on his digital currency since before Bitcoin was even created. Sirer was on a team of developers that proposed a peer-to-peer virtual currency in 2003 called Karma. He also made contributions to Bitcoin scaling in the early days before moving on to work on his own Layer 1 blockchain. In addition to his work in the crypto industry, Sirer is also a professor at Cornell University and a member of the Commodity Futures Trading Commission's Technical Advisory Committee. When you consider all of this experience, and remember, Armstrong Crypto X, experience matters, so why you subscribe to this channel, the success that Avalanche has seen since its launch makes a lot of sense. The ICO for Avalanche kicked off in July of 2020 and sold out in just a few hours, raising about $42 million. The blockchain launched just 2 months later in September of 2020 and was instantly a top contender in the Layer 1 race. Avalanche had interesting tech and a strong team, but the team was playing dirty, which might have something to do with why they came out strong out the gate. In August of 2022, a whistleblower known as Crypto Leaks, I think I know who it is, published a report that accused Sirer of using a law firm called Roche Friedman to collect information about competing companies. This information was then used to sue the rivals or turn them in to regulators. The goal was to make their competition weaker while distracting regulators from looking into their project. Sirer dismissed the accusations as ridiculous conspiracy theories, but it was hard to believe his story after seeing a video where Kyle Roche of the Roche Friedman law firm admitted to the whole thing while he was being secretly filmed during a meeting. I know what that's like. Kyle Roche was also forced to step down from his position at the law firm after the video was made public, so that didn't look too great either. You know it does look great? Trading on almost any exchange you want with legal credentials. Make sure to click the Phemex link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen. Then don't forget to grab your Palau e-residency program card so you can KYC when it comes in the mail. It's how all the cool kids are trading now. Hello there, fellow youth. In the description, I give you 4 steps on how you can get into crypto trading with Phemex the right way. The law firm story, though, was a really big deal when it came out, but most people missed it. I was the only one who thought this was not only bad, it was plain wrong. This incident was a major blow to the community as well. During the last cycle, a vibrant community was forming with tons of degens putting red triangles in their Twitter names and bios to identify themselves as members of the AVAX Avengers. There was a lot less of that after the video of the lawyer dropped. I still don't feel great about the situation, but it's a whole new cycle and Avalanche is still around, and there will be a whole new class of people coming in that won't remember any of this controversy. So this is not a project that you should be avoiding. I'm going to tell you why it's a good thing maybe at the end. I can already start to see a strong community though forming around Avalanche again. Nothing beats a community at Stake though, our channel sponsor. Stake is the world's largest social casino. Visit the link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen to get your account started with Stake. Fun games, social chat, and more at Armstrong Crypto X is powered by Stake. Now let's jump into what the tech behind Avalanche looks like. The blockchain is powered by the Avalanche consensus mechanism, which is a bit different from both proof of work and proof of stake because transactions are processed individually and simultaneously instead of in blocks. This model is called a directed acyclic graph, or DAG. Most people pronounce it DAG. And Avalanche is one of the many blockchains that uses this type of consensus mechanism. Another unique part of the Avalanche tech design is their approach to scalability. Avalanche doesn't just operate on a single blockchain. Instead, it uses 3 interconnected blockchains, each designed for a specific purpose. One blockchain is for creating and exchanging native tokens. That's the exchange chain, or X chain. Another is for hosting smart contracts. That's the contract chain, or C chain. And the third is for validating transactions. That's the platform chain, or P chain. Surprisingly, none of these were named 2 chains. These 3 main blockchains are all a part of the same subnet called the primary network for Avalanche. Subnets are networks that host unique blockchains that have their own rules and parameters, so different blockchains in the Avalanche network can play by different rules depending on what the needs of the applications and developers are. Even though these subnets operate independently, they're all linked to the Avalanche mainnet. Dividing the network into multiple subnets is one of the ways that Avalanche has decided to scale. Each subnet handles its own transaction load, which reduces congestion that causes high fees and slow transaction times. Validators of subnets need to stake AVAX in order to run a node, but how much they need to stake and the rules and conditions are different for every subnet. While we're on the subject of the utility for the AVAX token, it's also used for transaction fees, retail staking, and network governance, similar to other native tokens on other Layer 1 blockchains. Now, let's take a look at some of the applications that AVAX powers. The first popular DEX on Avalanche was Trader Joe's, with the ticker Joe, but it's no longer the most popular DEX. Now that title goes to Benkey, which adds a token with the ticker QI. In addition to the exchange, Benkey also has borrowing and lending features, which has set it apart from other DEXs on the chain. There's also Pangolin, another DEX that's been around for a long time, and I hear it's sick. But it's faded into the background in recent years, maybe like a bat going into a cave. As I was doing the research for this video, I started to realize that the AVAX ecosystem is not as active as it seems. Some massive projects have popped off on Avalanche. Just a few months ago, a social vibe project called Stars Arena blew up on Avalanche. I was hooked on it for about a week myself. It was basically another FriendTech clone, but it was a well-designed app. Unfortunately, there were some problems with the team, and it was designed well, but it was buggy. And there was a questionable hack as well, which really killed the hype for the project. Still around, it's called the Arena now, but many of the users are gone. It's still trying to get momentum with a new CEO. Avalanche also had a lot of short-lived projects during the last cycle, and some of them ended in disaster, like Wonderland. I stupidly got into Wonderland that went by the ticker Time, but unfortunately I got into it at the end of its run. The APY promised was insane, and I fell for the Ponzi. And it's mistakes like this that give me the valuable experience to help you not make the same mistakes I made back in the day. That's why you subscribe to Ben Nation. We're OG here. Hit that like button. 2, if you made it this far in the video, because hey, you must like it. There are a lot of great projects on Avalanche, but many of them are also available on other chains. This tells me that Avalanche has the capabilities to handle some of the top applications, but it has a lot of work to do when it comes to attracting developers. Do I think this is going to happen? Well, you're going to have to check out my price prediction video to find out. Overall, I think that a lot of the hype behind Avalanche is coming from investors that are looking to be the next big thing. Maybe they missed Ethereum or Solana, or maybe they got rich on one of those projects and are now looking to roll their profits into a lower cap coin. Either way, we've seen contenders like Avalanche attract a ton of attention from speculators during the bull market, and I think the same thing will happen this time around too. I think this is all going to depend on the growth of the Avalanche ecosystem. One thing we know for sure is that with the Ross Friedman incident, we know that, like Sam, Eamon will do anything to win and bring gains to his project. With some business sense, Sam would actually have been insanely successful without the problems. And while I believe Eamon will certainly cross ethical and moral boundaries, I think he's probably smart enough to know a good thing when he has it. His leadership, while dastardly, is kind of what we've seen be successful in this space. Will they be able to attract enough developers to bring in viral apps with staying power? This will be the deciding factor. Speculation can only push a project so far. I think AVAX has a ton of potential. We're gonna have to wait and see how I rank it. How are you feeling about AVAX and its ecosystem? Is there something I missed about Avalanche I should have included? Let us know down below in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button on the way out. Helps us keep the lights on. Be blessed.